Welcome back to Code Hive, the place where we make it work, make it right, and make it fast. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to use the identity keyword, right? So some of you may know it as the auto increment, but yes, that's what I want to talk about. So what is auto increment, right? So when you want to add a new record to a table, right? Auto increment enables the creation of a unique number. So basically, most of the times, auto increment is used for a primary key column, right? So you want the primary key to start from 1 and then go to 2, go to 3, go to 4 without you having to automatically, like manually put it in. That's when you would use the auto increment function or auto increment statement, right? So basically that is what auto increment means, and that's what it is. So if we look at the syntax, we will see over there we have a table called persons, right? So we have a column called person ID, which the data type is int. And then we have our identity keyword, right? So you can see over there identity. And then in your bracket, you can see that it first starts from 10. There's a number 10 and a 1 also. So what this is indicating is that the identity will start at 10 and it will increment by 1 for each new record. So it will go from 10, then 11, then 12, 13, etc., etc. So you can start from 1 and increment by 1, then it can go from 1, 2, 3, etc. So that is the syntax. So now let us look at an example on how you can apply identity. Okay, so now that we have looked at the theory as well as the syntax on how to use the identity or the auto increment function, then I want us to look at an example. So we are just going to create a simple table, and we're going to use one column and have that column auto increment each and every single time. So basic syntax we discussed in the first video, or in the video where I talk about how to create a table as well as using constraints and so forth. So create table, so let's just call it students, right? And then let's say I want student ID, right? Okay, so this will be int. Then now this is where the identity comes in. Okay, so identity 101. And then so this will be your primary key. So I'm not using constraints. I'm just doing a simple create table statement, because in this video the purpose of the video is to show you guys how to use the identity. Okay, so the last field that I want, no, actually I want a few. So let's say student name, then you can say varchar 30. Okay, and then let's say student age. Okay, so like I said earlier on when we were looking at the theory, this part is the part where you indicate where the number is starting and to increment by what. So 100, that means it's going to start from 100, then each and every single time it's going to increment by 1. Okay, so this is my simple table. Okay, so if we just execute this create statement, then our table should be created. Okay, so now let us insert values into the table. So insert into students. So I think it's students, yes. Okay, so we have the student ID, right? We have the student name as well as the student age. So in terms of student ID, we are just going to skip it. Okay, so we can just say values. So again, in the video where I talked about how to create tables, there's two ways in which you can insert data into a table, but for this purpose, the purpose is the identity, so I'm just going to use the short way. Okay, so for the name, let's go with Kim, and then for the age, let's just go with 20. Okay, so let me just explain this part, right? So insert into students. So we have student ID, we have student name as well as student age. But because the student ID is identity, it will auto increment. There's no need for us to put it in there, right? The database already knows that, okay, the first one, it will be auto increment and then it will continue to those ones. So it will first do the identity part for the student ID column, and then it will move on to Kim, and then it will move on to age. So if we just execute that, okay, it should say completed. So now let us check in our table. Okay, so select all from students. Okay, so let us check what happened. Okay, so it started at 100 because we said that, okay, start at 100. Then it inserted Kim and the age for Kim. Okay, so let us insert another value. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly copy that. And then let's say Mpo. Okay, so let's say Mpo is 17 years old. Okay, so if we run that statement now, it should say completed. Then if we say select all from students, then you see what it did. So it started at 100 and then it incremented by 1 and then it went to 101. So that's the point over there. It starts from 100, then it increments with 1. So you could say it starts from 10, increment by 20, start from 1, increment by 2. It is your choice. Okay, so this is how you use the identity. Okay, so you just specify it over there in the column that you want, and then when you're doing your insert into the table, you don't include that column for the identity. Okay, so that is how you use your identity statement. So I hope this made sense. If you guys have questions, then please leave your questions or your comments in the comment section below. But if you liked this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it, and also to hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching.